The second step when you're looking to buy a home is to find a good realtor. Now, many people start by doing a home search, which is understandable because that's the exciting part, to look online at all the homes that you could potentially be living in. And then from there, a lot of times people will look and find an agent that is advertised to them from one of those sites. But there can be a couple problems with this. So while it may be tempting to just go on these websites and find a random agent, it's actually really important to make sure that you have an expert guiding you through the process of buying what's likely the most expensive investment in your life. So that's what I'm going to be covering in this video, is the 6 skills that your realtor needs to have. The first skill or character trait that your realtor needs to have is honesty. Now, this should go without saying that, of course, people should be honest. In real estate, there's a lot of opportunities for conflict of interest, a lot of opportunities for real estate agents to make money by doing something that is not good for the client. For example, they may find out, or they may look at a home and see, oh, you know what, this home doesn't have a great foundation, but it's not noticeable, and they may say, oh, the buyer would never notice that. Whereas you as the buyer, if that was something you knew about, you might not want to buy the home. It could also be, for example, if it was close to a train track that ran at midnight every night. If the agent knew that, they could pass it off like, oh, that's no big deal. But if you've got kids, for example, that are going to be woken up every night by that train, that's something that's really important to you. But if the agent only cares about getting a quick sale, they may try to rush you through the process without telling you that important information. The second thing your agent needs to have is integrity, which goes right in line with honesty. Integrity is doing the right thing for the right reasons. Now, agents have, again, a financial incentive to make you buy a home quickly so that they can get paid and go through the process. There's a lot of situations where you are going to be relying on your real estate agent for advice that you may not know the right thing to do in a certain situation, whether it comes to negotiation for repairs or how to interpret repair addendum, how to interpret a lot of different aspects of the negotiation, or even writing the offer in general. There's a lot of parts of buying a home that you're relying on your agent to give you expert advice. All that to say is it's really important to make sure your agent has integrity and is looking out for your best interests. The third skill your realtor needs to have is attention to detail. I used to work as an engineer doing project management, and I did a lot of paperwork and design drawings where the details had to be exactly correct. And I would look at a piece of paper and think I was doing something exactly right, and then send it to my manager, and only to find out I missed something. So that was a skill I had to learn. Over time, I got better and better and better at that. And real estate is no different. Contracts can be very complex. There are a lot of details that can easily be missed. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen initials that haven't been checked off, or that a certain line item that the way it was written meant something completely different than what it really should mean, or there was certain ambiguity. So knowing how to word things correctly, making sure all the details are correct, is really important, and it's kind of hard to overstate how important that is. The fourth skill your realtor needs to have is conflict management skills. There is almost always going to be conflict in a real estate transaction. It could be between the agent and you as the buyer. It could be between the agent on your end and the agent on the seller's end, or it could be with any of the other people involved in the process. I've seen agents put deals in jeopardy and even cause deals to terminate because they can't manage conflict well, and conflicts arise. If they can't figure it out, then the deal sometimes has to terminate, which should not happen. If an agent has good conflict management skills and can handle the different things that come up, almost any storm can be weathered. Making sure every single step of the process is being communicated is a great way to manage conflict before it arises. But when conflict comes up, being able to have an honest conversation about it is really important. So that's one of the things that I do. That's one of the things that the best agents do, is having the hard conversations to make sure that conflict doesn't get out of hand. The fifth skill your realtor needs to have is knowledge of the market. Now, this is really important, especially when markets are changing. If your agent doesn't have a good, solid knowledge of the market, the direction it's heading, it's possible that you could be leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Another aspect of knowledge of the market has to do with how different neighborhoods compare to other neighborhoods. So you may have homes that are fairly close to each other distance-wise, but one may be in a nicer neighborhood versus a not as nice neighborhood. Now, if your agent doesn't know this, you may way overbid on a property that is not quite worth what you think. So this is why knowledge of the market and also knowing how the market works in cycles, knowing where in the cycle you are, is extremely important. Along with that, the sixth skill that your agent needs to have is strong negotiation skills. Again, this is another situation where buyers or sellers can leave thousands of dollars on the table by not having an agent who can negotiate well. An example of this is during repairs. So say, for example, you find out that a home has a cracked foundation, or maybe it's got a leaking roof, or there could be any number of things that are going on that need to be repaired. Being able to negotiate well is extremely important, because if you don't negotiate these things, then you're going to be stuck either having to pay these costs or the transaction's not going to work. So a good agent is going to negotiate well and potentially save you thousands of dollars than if you'd worked with an agent who either didn't know how to negotiate well or was afraid to negotiate for you. Okay, so now that we know the 6 skills that your agent needs to have, well, how do you find an agent like this? Again, we talked about how many buyers will start by looking on the home websites and getting a random agent that is advertised to them, which is usually who pays the most money. And when you do that, there's no guarantee that you're going to get the best agent that you possibly could. So what do? What I always recommend is for people to talk to their close friends and family and ask for a recommendation. Hey, who do you know that works in this market, that is good at what they do, and that has all of these other skills? You could sit down and interview with multiple agents and ask them these questions, but honestly, it's pretty hard to tell. If you ask someone, are you honest or do you have integrity? Of course, everyone's going to say yes. So it's really good to get a third person's input to say, is this agent actually good at what they do? And for full disclosure, part of the reason I do these videos is for someone to get to know me, get to know my personality and how I work, because I really care about educating people. I want to make sure people are well equipped for the home buying process. So if you're buying a home in Oregon, especially in the Southwest Portland area, I would love to help you buy a home. We've also put together an entire resource that goes through every step of buying a home, from the first step that we talked about in the last video of saving to finding the right agent, all the way through to the end where you finally get the keys to your home. So this is what we call our buyer guide, which is linked in the description. So you can download that, and that is basically a concise form of everything that I'm covering in these videos. Well, if you like this video, you can push that like button, because that also will put it in your liked video section. You can come back to it to reference if you're still a ways out from buying a home. You can also subscribe to our channel to make sure that you're not missing each video as you come out. You can always go and search for us, but if you subscribe, it'll make sure those videos come right to you when they come out. If you like this video, or there was something that was helpful, or there's something else that you would like to know about this process, please leave a comment and let me know what that is. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.